Hello everybody, it is Craig Whispering Storyteller here, and I hope you are well. I hope you are nice and relaxed and somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed. Maybe lying on a bed, sitting on a sofa. This is your time, and I'm here to help you relax and unwind and forget about the world. Now, as usual, I'm talking about a random subject which is quite interesting. It is the mighty Loch Ness Monster. It's a great story. Now, I'm just looking at something which is online. I haven't written this myself, it's just something I'm observing online on the internet. So I'm just going to be reading out a few articles for you, just all about the Loch Ness Monster. Again, if you've got any random stories or things you'd like me to cover in future episodes, then you just have to let me know about that. So, if we are nice and relaxed now, we shall begin. So, you may have heard stories and myths about Scotland. So, almost every castle is haunted, and every loch has some kind of spirit or monster story associated with it. So, although not a particularly scary or feared creature, the most common known example from Scottish folklore is, of course, the Loch Ness Monster, more commonly known as Nessie to the locals here. So, last year there's been 3 sightings of Nessie, and the biggest search for the Loch Ness Monster took place in August. However, unfortunately, there is no concrete evidence that he exists. But surely a creature as wide and as old as Nessie knows all of our tricks and can find the best places to hide away from us when we go looking for him. So, whether or not you believe in the Loch Ness Monster, if you think he's real or you think he is just a bit of folklore, the mystery surrounding it is just as intriguing and brings a lot of tourists to Scotland every year without fail. So, let's start off by saying, what is the Loch Ness Monster? Well, the Loch Ness Monster is a very famous cryptid, which is a creature whose existence is questionable, in inverted commas, but there's never been any concrete evidence to prove it is real. So if you think about it, the Himalayas have got the Yeti, North America's got Bigfoot, Mexico and South America have the Chupacabra, and Scotland has the Loch Ness Monster. Now, sightings of Nessie usually describe the creature as being large and being green with a pointed head and a long elongated neck which sticks out of the water, suggesting he is a serpent-like creature. I'm saying he, it, she. The common belief is that it is a surviving dinosaur era creature, such as a plesiosaur, which lived in Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, which is 65 to 200 million years ago. So as you can see by the photo, which I will put here, he fits the description. So in 2003, a plesiosaur was found on the shores of Loch Ness, but as the rocks around it are not fossil bearing, it is considered to be just another hoax, as pleciosaurus's were cold-blooded. It makes the theory more unlikely, as they probably wouldn't be able to survive the waters of Loch Ness unless it and its ancestors evolved to survive the waters, in cold water, should I say. So the earliest documented sighting of Nessie was way back in 565, when the Irish monk St. Columba came across picked locals burying a man next to River Ness. Upon inquiry, St. Columba was told that the deceased man had been attacked by an aquatic creature. It attacked him and dragged him beneath the water. So St. Columba, being the nice guy that he was, sent one of his followers to the river for a swim, but he was approached by a monster. Now, St. Columba reportedly made the sign of the cross and exclaimed, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." And the creature retreated back into the depths of the river. However, this tale comes from a Life of St. Columba by Adomnan, which was written about 100 years after the events had actually supposedly taken place. So whether that was a case of information being added to the original story, who knows? Now, sightings of Loch Ness Monster increased dramatically in the 1930s, and it was believed to be due to upgrades to the road, which encouraged more visits. In 1933, George Spicer and his wife saw a creature cross the road in front of them, which was supposedly around 25 feet, which is about 8 meters long and about 10 foot 3 meters wide. It had a long, wavy neck with no limbs, and as you can imagine, they were quite shocked to see it moving across the road near the car. Now, other sightings and photographs followed that year, with many being disregarded as animals such as otters, but in 1934, the image known as the surgeon's photograph showed what was supposedly the first image of the neck and head of the monster. London-based surgeon Robert Kenneth Wilson took 4 photographs upon spotting the monster, with one being substantially less blurry than the others. Again, it is often dismissed as being driftwood or another animal like an otter. And again, I'll put these photographs up here so you can see them while I'm talking through the story. Now, throughout the years, it is subject to a lot of analysis and criticism. It is believed that the photograph was cropped to make it seem like the ripples on the water are waves, making the creature in the photo look larger. Further analysis of the photo has also revealed that the creature/object has been dragged through the water, indicating its size to be about 3 foot long. It was later revealed to be a hoax, and it turned out that the most famous and earliest image of the Loch Ness Monster was in fact a toy submarine with a head and neck attached to it made out of wood putty. That's a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. So, as well as the big mission in August 2023, there have been many expeditions throughout the years, such as the 1987 1 million Operation Deep Scan. Now, this involved 24 boats with sonar capabilities searching through the loch for an entire week. Now, I remember when this happened. I was a youngster at the time, and I remember being absolutely glued to the television, watching the news report as it was happening, and I was convinced they were going to find evidence that Nessie did exist. But of that entire week, they found nothing. In 2003, the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, funded a search for the loch using 600 sonar beams and even satellite tracking. Yet they also found nothing. So, if efforts such as these could not yield results, it makes you wonder what it will take to find Nessie. But I've heard that there's underground caves inside of Loch Ness. He or she has got their hiding places well researched, ready for when us pesky humans come to try and disturb him. So, is he a myth or is he real? Now, there is apparently an official Loch Ness sightings register. So the number of recorded monster sightings have increased throughout the 1900s, which is at the same time as visitor numbers in the area began to grow. However, compelling sightings were recorded by local residents too. In 1916, the gamekeeper from a local estate reported that a huge animal surfacing by his boat. So after all this, the Loch Ness mystery continues. So in today's advanced technology, it is truly astonishing that there's no conclusive evidence to solve the mystery of the Loch Ness sightings. It is true though that many sightings can now be explained. The wealth of scientific study has also resulted in a valuable understanding of Loch Ness itself and the processes that occur within it, and the types of creatures that can survive in its cold, dark depths. However, given the loch's vast volume of water and the practical difficulties in surveying it all at once, it seems entirely possible that it is home to something not yet discovered. So Nessie has become a legend, an epic in his or her own right, in the vast, spectacular loch that she calls home. Now it's over to you. Will you come and experience the loch yourself? If you're travelling to Scotland, it is a must to visit Loch Ness. Now, I live in England, not far from the Scottish border, but I've never been to Loch Ness. Maybe it's something I should do at some point, just to tick it off the box, because it is such a fascinating tourist attraction and something which endures for many, many, many decades and hundreds of years even. So, is this something that you would do? So anyway, I'm going to thank you all for listening to this interesting story